Hello, all. Welcome back. Today, I thought I should share something about corporate workplace and how there is a lot of stress, especially in the Indian companies. Recently, I've been interacting a lot with my colleagues and my past college mates, and a theme has sort of come out of it. And it is that a lot of corporates are really unhappy with their workplace, either due to the stress or the lack of fun activities, or most likely in an Indian context, it is going to be the longer working hours. But my only question here is, does longer working hours necessarily lead to a bad corporate workplace or a bad office life? Why I'm asking this is because recently I've been interacting with some of my colleagues at work who are based out of Europe, or in particular, they are working from Romania. So I've noticed that even sometimes they tend to put as much as us as the Indian counterparts, but still they really like their job and they have a lot of fun working. Then they go to office much more than the basic requirement of HR, which is 2 days per week. So they try to go maybe 3 days or 4 days. But while their Indian counterparts, we try to only meet the basic expectation of 2 days. So the difference, what I can understand here is that necessarily longer hours does not mean that the workplace is stressful, but it's also other factors like the stress while working and the feedbacks that we get from the higher management and the support and the required direction whenever we are in doubt or stuck or having any other sort of queries. So what I notice is that the colleagues over there, they're much more friendlier, the higher management, and they're much more supportive, and they also guide quite wherever needed. But while in India, the trend is to try to do much more yourself, because when you go to your higher management and say you need a support, it might not always be what you're expecting. As in, they would likely be of the view that you will have to work in this sort of direction than that sort of direction, and that in this sort of direction might increase the time you're going to spend on that particular activity. So yeah, there is a lot of friction, I believe, and there is also a lot of misunderstanding, in the sense higher management might not be aware of what exactly the employee is going through at a time, and this can only be reduced by lesser gaps, more friendlier interactions, and having uh, positive improvements or centers of excellence only aimed to support the employee, and not just for what the higher management requires the budget to be spent on. So every aim should be to improve the productivity, to have tools that will make the work easier and a lot, rather than reporting or any other sort. Okay, now this is a very generic context, I understand, but this might be in terms what I'm seeing in Indian companies, but it can be the case that this can happen at anywhere. So basically, when you start working, you will realize that a lot of things in corporate are ain't exactly fair, FAIR, fair. That is because there has been certain sort of like path that the company or the higher management or even the employees has gone through in the past, that is going to influence their current situation. So maybe in the past, that the Indian colleagues or the let's say the managers, they might have been working more hours, and they expect working more hours, and they expect the same from the employee. So that is a misconception, to make the employees also work just because the manager or probably their colleague has worked more in the past. So there should always be the sort of way to work whereby everybody understand each person's uh, bandwidth, and also understand their capabilities, and wherever support is required, they're able to offer it even without asking. So yeah, that's about it. In general, I am somebody who likes to work. I don't have an issue even if I have to extend a bit for the day, but then without proper support and without what exactly needed to be done, and doing something which might not add value as per me, that does not go well. And that might be the case with a lot of employees. So when you give a work to your employee as a manager, you'll need to be sure that the employee understands the end goal, understands the importance of the task. Just take 1 to 2 minutes just explaining that instead of just sending shooting a mail with the activity. That's all. I think will be a good idea. Okay, then that's for this video. Let's catch up in the next one.